Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, everybody. It's back in kind of form. Football at the King Power, and we had fans down there. And we had a small case of 3-2 over the Europa League champions. Now, I should be sat here happy. I should be sat here really, really cheerful, but I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not in a minute. It is Leicester Till I Die TV, on Twitter at Leicester TID, on Facebook, Leicester Till I Die the group. YouTube, if you're on YouTube, please pop over and give us a subscribe. Tweet me buttons. It might just put a smile on my face tonight. I like my buttons to be tweaked. Subscribe, follow, ring the bell, do everything. The more you do, the happier I will be. I'm a little bit annoyed. So it was 3-2. The FA Cup winners did what Man United couldn't do. We beat Villarreal. We beat the Europa League champions 3-2. Just in case, and it is a small crumb of comfort, but if there are any Man United fans watching, that's how you do it. But what I want to speak to you about, first of all, is this. Wesley Fofana, key player, one of the key players in our squad. A possible 8 to 9 months is what I've just been reading in the comments. Season ending, really, before his season's even started, it's over. Now, I get that players don't go out to injure other players, but we do know what cheats European players are. They are. They're simple. They are. They go down screaming and shouting and trying. We've seen it in the Euros. What pissed me off is when you've just ended a fellow professional player's season, have the respect not to go down as if somebody's just farted as they've run past you, and you've no respect. You know, as I say, I've never liked it from the Klinsmann days. Europeans, most European players are nothing but cheats. They go down at the slightest provocation. Like I say, you knock them with a feather and they're down screaming. Oh, we saw it in the Euros with the Italians. They thought he needed to be taken off to hospital, realised they scored the goal. He was up and running about. It is cheating. And to do that when you have just ended a fellow professional's season, it is absolutely disgusting. And I don't know whether we'll get an apology from Villarreal. Emery looked particularly unconcerned. A few days ago, apparently it happened the other way around and he was screaming and shouting. So I don't know. I just think we need to sort it out. As I say, the injury it happens, unfortunately. And, you know, we wish Wes all the best. But what really, really, really gets me is you stop it then. You stop it. If you've any respect at all, if you've any respect for yourself as players, you stop it. And you don't carry on with the play acting. But they did. And I just think I've lost any respect I had for Villarreal. They deserve, if they go out of business, they deserve it. It was absolutely disgusting. Show some respect. Just go through some points here. Charlie says, yeah, broken ankle, apparently out for 8 to 9 months. It looks like he'd literally one of those where he twisted it all the way around. You know, the dangerous scissor tackle on Fofana. Yeah, it was dangerous. And like I say, but the referee hadn't stopped it. He hadn't blown for the foul. So he didn't see anything in it. And like I say, you know, even with the most dangerous fouls, people, unless you're Roy Keane or possibly, you do not go out, allegedly, to damage a fellow professional. Roy Keane's kind of admitted to it. But like I say, it's having the respect afterwards. Rudy, good evening. Fofana's going to be a massive miss. Yes, he is. It was 100% meant to the disgusting idiots. You know, what can I say? Hello, Chris. Hello, Maisie. How are you doing? Maisie, that's how you beat Man United. Villarreal, by the way. Talk, hi mate. Yeah, thanks. Talk Man United. He's not going to be okay. He's out. Well, I don't know how long for. I hope this doesn't affect Fofana's career. Who knows? Who knows? We've seen it happen before. They don't come back as good as they went out sometimes. Box wedding night, yes, you know they did. They went. You know, Hall's knickers on a wedding night go down as easily as the Villarreal players. I tell you, it's unbelievable. JB, he injured him on purpose. Chris, Fofana accidentally stood on his ankle. Then the same guy then scissor tackled him. It was 100% meant. Well, you know, nothing's going to happen. UEFA as much use as pissing in a bucket with a hole in. So I don't think UEFA are going to look at that afterwards and do anything. And the FA are almost as bad, aren't they? Unfortunately, Rich, hi, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I think it is as bad as it looks, to be honest with you. Big up, Chris, all in here. I haven't watched the video. Don't watch it, mate. It's not the best thing. David here. Why didn't the officials do something about that tackle? We didn't even get any injury time for it. Ankit here. Zuma is an example. He's great, but nowhere near after the injury. Yeah, like I say, you know, I can remember, was it Chris Boost for Coventry was the first one where had a really, really bad ankle injury, never played again. I don't think that's going to happen with Fofana. And like I say, I'm willing to give him a bit of a... It was one of those tackles. It was in a match. Maybe he was a bit annoyed at just getting hurt. What annoyed me was the fact that they were still going down, like I say, like a horse knickers on a wedding night. So it was... It took Ricardo about 6 months after he came back from his injuries to get close to the form he had before the injury. I mean, he's only just coming back, isn't it? And he had an amazing game. And I'm not going to try and pronounce your name, YNDSU, but welcome along. Thanks for joining us. I'm afraid it's in the Spanish mentality, Dean. Good evening, Dean. How are you? It wasn't an accident for a friendly. It was a premeditated scissor tackle. He was class tonight. He was. Keep your Spanish football. Yep. Shove it where the sun don't shine. Half the clubs are going to go in bust anyway, like Barcelona and Real Madrid. So let's hope more of them do. Luke Shaw has recovered. Fofana is young. That is a positive. It is box. That is very, very true. And I think we are going to see us move now in that transfer market for a centre-back. There was talks about us needing a loan before with... Evans not being ready to come back. I think we're gonna have to buy somebody now. Tchaikovsky, anybody? Hey, who knows? Scott, good evening. How the devil are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, Chris. How are you?
Well, not the most happy, as you can probably see. Brad, I don't know if you can hear us now.
Yeah, I sorted the sound issue out. It did my head in. When I sorted it out, I had to change something in the settings because it was just randomly deciding which volume to turn up. So I sorted it out.
You were tweaking your own buttons, weren't you? You'll go blind, you know. That's why I wear glasses. And I can just say I don't think that much of Brad that I'm covering him with all the trophies there. Let's just do that. There we go. That's better. But yeah, so much for Europa League champions. Scott, we'll come to you first. We made them look like Arsenal, didn't we?
Yeah, it was just laughable. The way that we played and everything like that. We were a class above them in every area of the pitch, up until obviously the unfortunate injury to Fofana. But yeah, it's just one of those that up until that point, I don't know about yourself or Brad, but I felt we were far a better team and we could on to score a hell of a lot more goals.
Yeah, I mean, there was always going to be changes, Brad, wasn't there? I mean, you know, that's how he's looked. The Rodgers has looked at the whole pre-season. But when you look at that team that we started with, you're pretty much there looking at the our starting lineup, I think, you know, or certainly not far from it. And it looked bloody good. I mean, I think the injury kind of just knocked the wind out of everybody's sails. And then almost straight after we made, you know, there was more people coming on the pitch than immigrants coming on Brighton Beach, you know. But so it was going to disrupt the game something. But I just thought we looked amazing in that first half.
Yeah, we did. I think a lot of fans predicted that this was going to be the pre-season game that Leicester, with anyone that's followed any of our pre-season, knows how we've handled our pre-season. And unfortunate, hopeful, not long-term, but it seems that way injury to Fofana tonight aside, you probably did see at least one style of formation of how we're going to line up next season. You know, I think we saw two tactics tonight being played, and it just shows testament to the fitness levels that Brendan and the staff have got the whole entire squad up to that level. Because they looked, I think, even after the injury shook them, they got straight back on top. There was only one team that was going to score a sixth, and it wasn't them. We looked good. Danny Ward panicked me a little bit, but I'll let him off.
I just think there was Scott was the not. I mean that second goal of Villarreal was lucky, because I just think everybody was confused about what was going on.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, there's a famous saying: "You always play to the whistle." And unfortunately, you know, Benkovic could have done a hell of a lot more in that scenario. At the end of the day, you know, we won 3-2. We can't really say much more than that, to be honest.
I know, and as I say, I should be feeling really, really happy. I mean, you know, Brad, even Perez scored. You know,
I mean, he had an open net and it was 2 yards out, but yeah, credit to him. He actually did put it in the net, so you know, I can't say anything bad about it.
No. I mean, you know, there is a little bit of me that would think that Perez might just have missed that. But yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. You know my thoughts on Mr. Perez. I thought was playing all right.
Yeah, you know what? And I still stay by the same statement I made when I made my first remarks about my opinions on Perez. I hope he proves me wrong. I've still not seen anything to suggest that. He was more positionally aware today, which was good to see of him. I think, like I said, the plan was, let's show the fans what we're going to do throughout the season, how we're going to play. I genuinely think this season, by the way we've gone about pre-season, it feels like that first half was, here's option A, how we're going to go about it, and we can switch it to this, and you're going to see plan B. Leicester have got two plans for this season. At least looks that way every time they've been doing it each half. It's not just the terms of the players coming on, but it's a completely different set. We go from one up front with Vardy to Iniacho and Daka. And it looks seamless. It looks like they've, you know, all that hard work's really paid off.
Yeah. Charlie, you're young, you'll learn these things. But no, he flatters to deceive sometimes, Perez. Box is asking here, is Johnny Evans fit? No, he's not, and that's the problem. He's not going to be ready for the start
And
of
the
the
problem is,
season.
even if he was fit, he's not had any pre-season.
No. Same with Justin. Justin is out till December. We've got a Marty, which scares me, Scott. I don't know about you. So surely we've got to go and buy somebody, haven't we, Scott?
Yeah, 100% now. You know, it before obviously Fofana being injured, we were still iffy on predominantly getting another centre back in. But now you've got to do it, because I don't feel confident like yourself towards Marty. Yes, he can do a job, but every time he's on the ball, you fear that something's going to happen. Benkovic, he's been playing Championship last season, I believe, and when he was playing at Cardiff last season, he just didn't look. Yeah, it just didn't look like a player that we need, sort of thing. So I definitely think we need a new centre back now.
I don't think we are going to keep Benkovic, to be honest with you. I mean, Box is saying Kabak there. We are being linked a lot with Kabak. Romano on the show that we did, and that's still up on the YouTube channel if you want to watch that, chatting with Fabrizio Romano about Leicester's possible ins and Leicester's possible outs, which is why I find it so funny about Arsenal creaming the knickers about getting Maddison. But we'll come on to Maddison in a minute. Back though, Brad, Liverpool don't want him even if he's on a free, because they are talking about terminating his contract. Now, if Liverpool don't want him on a free, when they went out and bought that guy from Preston for a few million, and he's now apparently could be leaving, so his career did well at Liverpool. But if they don't want Kabak on a free, is he all that?
The problem is, Chris, the guy was given a very, 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 very well sought after in Germany when Xhaka, at the top of the league. They were, up the higher end of the German football league. But last season was an absolute horror show for them. They took a person with zero confidence as a centre back into a squad with zero confidence. Alisson was a mess. Alisson was getting laughed at and called, the second version of Adrian, the mistakes he was making. At that time, a fairly decent defender chucked into a season of abyss and relegation. His team's falling apart around him, and then he goes to a team all out of sorts and desperate for a defender. I'm not surprised he didn't have it. And the reason Leicester fans don't remember him doing any good is because he may have made his debut against a certain Leicester City and the whole Alisson and Kabak incident. It's never easy for him, but I think it shows great character of him to be, still trying to play football after such a disastrous little run of the last 12 months he's had. If he can get his head right, he's not a bad defender. I would be happy to have him here as a backup.
Dean Hawkins says here, are we being linked with Kabak because he's good or he's cheap? There is a difference. But I want to say Box has said here, and Scott, I quite like this idea. Gary Cahill on a 1 year. Yeah, you're shaking your head there, but do we not shake our head at Robert Huth? Did we not shake our head at Johnny Evans? When Johnny Evans, we're talking about a season deal there, or even 6 months, because until we've got Fofana, until we've got somebody back, he's got the experience you want, and that's what we haven't got there now. We haven't got that player. Wes has left. Johnny Evans is out. Scott, we've not got that player in there that will just control that young defence and say, come on, calm down now. Let's just take it easier. Would Gary Cahill not offer us that?
I can sort of see why there's people suggesting Cahill, obviously for the reasons you've stated. But for me, I'm a bit like Brad. I'd rather have someone in that's got youth about them, that has previously played in the Premier League. Yes, okay, he had a poor flipping first match. But to me, Kabak, if you can get him on a free, like it's been stated, I'd rather go for him, to be honest.
Brad Tchaikovsky?
No, we don't need to be spending money on it. I'm sorry, we don't. And the only reason I say no to Cahill so aggressively, it's got nothing to do with me questioning his age or his ability to still defend, even though he's in his mid-30s. He had a great season last season, from what I saw of it. What it is for me is Kabak's younger. And like I said, if you can shape the mentality of the last 12 months, what's happened to him, I know he's a good defender because there's a reason Liverpool went for him in the first place. They obviously saw something in him in a team that was going down the pan to at least bring him to Anfield.
But
you
then
know,
my
issue is you then
that bought a player in from Preston and are now
yeah,
selling
well,
him.
you know, maybe Klopp was at the strange German lager that night. I don't know because a lot of Liverpool fans don't understand that, mate. They understand the Kabak transfer before the incident against Leicester more than they do the money spent on the Preston lad.
Yeah, Tommy. Serious
My
question.
argument is Cahill's wage that he'll come straight in. On Kabak's a decent centre back and will cost probably half his wage.
Yeah. Tommy says there, a serious question for once. I don't know if it is Tommy. How many Leicester shirts, Chris, do you own? Too many. I've got to be honest with you. Absolutely too many. But thank you for bringing this up, Tommy, because this leads me very on. If you didn't see this show earlier, I went on. I flew solo here, and I didn't do that one at all. I did this show earlier, the Shit Shirt Show, and I took every single home strip for next season for all the EPL teams and put them in order. 20 was the best, 1 was the worst, and we had the countdown. Tommy, I don't think you came out very well on it at all. Well, not you personally, but your team. But thanks for mentioning that. But yes, I have way too many. Scott, you obviously, again, you're a Kabak fan, but it is definitely, we're saying, area we've got to move into. What about the right wing? Because that's the other position they're talking about.
See, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't rate Perez at the best of times. Yes, he does have some good games, but 90% of the season he goes missing or he gets pushed off a ball. I quite like Kamal Soa, that's been playing in the pre-season friendlies. I think he's got a lot about him, and I think he could be your Luke Thomas of this season, so to speak.
I mean, that is the question. Do we have to buy if we've got these youngsters coming through? But talking about purchases, Brad, I thought Ryan Bertrand had a great game.
Tell you what, I said this a lot last season, Chris, and I think you agreed with me when it was brought up about Maddison's dip in form. I know we're going to get to him later, but I just want to say with Ryan Bertrand, I think we've got someone who can take the weight of the load for it. Because we were saying a lot, weren't we, last season, that he's doing set pieces and that, and it needs to get the workload off him.
Yes.
And what's going to hopefully stem all this boring Arsenal interest in trying to swap as a packet of Chris and 3 million for Maddison or whatever the rumours is.
But I think it's money
for a guy that
players.
For a guy that's handed in 3 transfer requests and is demanding and pleading that we let him go like he's Harry Kane. Didn't look too shabby starting the first 45 minutes of that game. So let's hope them rumours get just simmered down a bit, because the only way you're going to get him is if he wants to leave. And he doesn't look like a player that wants to leave to me.
No, all this sort of
Bertrand looks good, very good.
You know,
as a
he wants to come. He's not open to the idea. It is actually written. This was put on the on one of the Twitters by a London journalist saying that Maddison's open to the idea. And I did actually tweet him saying, look, all this bullshit that you journalists and Arsenal fans are putting out, show me some proof where it says he's open to an idea. And he did not even reply. So that kind of sums it up. But just while we're on this, Scott, I asked this question earlier on Twitter because everybody was saying, and I think this is going to be the season when we may not, as people put it, bottle it. But I have been asked quite a few times, does Brendan bottle it? But I want to say here, who bottles it? Who is the biggest bottler? Is it Rodgers for finishing 5th 2 seasons in a row and winning the FA Cup? Is it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for being the semi-final king, and when he gets to a final, blows it, and he's got no trophies in his management career at Man United? Or is it Klopp, who has managed to take the best team in the world, which they were? They won everything virtually in that first season. They were world champions, and in one season, he turned them into EPL also-rans. Who would you say is the biggest bottler there, Scott?
Me personally, it's got to be Solskjaer.
No, it's not Rodgers though, is it?
No.
And the way that he had that team playing for him, and like I say, that first half, it was like we could have scored more. And Barnes, credit where credit's due. We'll come on to Solskjaer and onto Soyuncu in a minute. But Barnes, that was the old Barnes, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. He looks incredible again. He looks back to his best, and I can't wait to see him playing, obviously, in the Premier League, because he's got so much about him, whether it's trying to run past defenders or trying to cut in. He's so dangerous in everything that he does.
Brad, David says here, to be fair, in the first half, though, most of our attack was down the right and not through Barnes. But, that one run for the goal, I mean, that surely shows, he's back.
Yeah, definitely. It does show he's back. He looks really good. It was really good to see him back on the pitch in a Leicester shirt and going around at quite a good pace. His goal shows that. It was also nice to see, obviously, a few other faces out there, but that was one that Leicester fans felt that, in regards to what you just put up, actually, Chris, a lot of Leicester fans felt that had we got Harvey Barnes, we might have just held on to the Champions League spot. A lot of Leicester fans said it was very awful timing, and obviously it was. So it's never key, as we found out tonight. It's never nice to lose a Leicester player.
No.
Regardless of whether they're instant 11, squad players, rotation players, whatever they are, they're a Leicester player. We don't like seeing them injured. But you see the impact when it's a player like that. So it was good just to see him back to his best and scoring, obviously, just showing he lost his touch.
Brad, I'll stick with you for this one because first serious game, if you like, of the season, and a goal from a set piece.
Yeah, again, going back to what you said about Bertrand when you asked me the question, about him, it was nice to see we've got someone else there that can put a nice ball into the box. It was a great ball, and he put him right in. Soyuncu couldn't miss. I mean, he probably would have found a way. I've seen him miss a few headers, but it was putting like he was Matt Elliott in his prime. And to be fair to him, he got in the space, and excuse me, but he just looked really good at what So it was a good game. It was just enjoyable to see, set pieces like that going in. We've been desperate for them.
In fairness, though, Scott, I mean, the marking was absolutely diabolical for Soyuncu's goal. He just ran in and nobody went with him.
Well, at the end of the day, that's their concern. That's not ours. I was more happy about, like with Brad, about the state of the corners and the free kicks, where to have the likes of being able to give the goalkeeper a headache, not knowing whether Bertrand's going to take the free kick or Maddison or anyone else for that matter. There was so much difference about the squad when it comes to taking these set pieces, whereas before it just used to be routine. Madison will take it. And
it looks a bit one-dimensional. We looked a bit one-dimensional from set pieces last season. Very predictable as well.
We did.
So
we did.
The change has definitely been needed.
But I mean, this was a serious game. We looked at this and
Mm.
saying, right, what we're, what's going to do with the players. A lot of changes were made. I don't know, do you like all those? Was there need to do all those changes at this stage? He's done it for 3 games. Did he need to do it in this game? Was it just a case of giving players a run out to say they played the Europa League champions?
I think.
Sorry. Yeah, Brad for that one.
Sorry, I
mate.
didn't hear a name, mate. So I think we were both waiting. Sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
I think like I stressed at the start, I think we've actually seen Rodgers allow the fans and the players a chance to adapt to formations. I think, like I said, the lineup's definitely changed, the formation changed. We did swap an 11, and I think that's just been the plan from the off, for them to work on fitness and tactics in one hit. And as we've seen with the performances and coincidentally the results, may I add, as well, have improved pre-season game by pre-season game. So it's clearly worked, and we're clearly seeing that Leicester, the biggest question sometimes asked at Leicester when it's come to the crunch and we've slipped down to 5th, lost the League Cup semi-final, obviously the FA Cup final, then we slip out. And that, again, the biggest question has been, is Leicester don't have a structure, a second structure, which they've obviously tried to find over pre-season and working on, and Leicester haven't got a plan B. Well, if they work on a different tactic like they clearly have been, and we've seen that in both halves of each pre-season as well, I think it's been a bit of both, and it's been cleverly done, and that's what's really impressed me the most, against, unfortunately, the injury tonight. That's the biggest block and horrible thing that could happen, unfortunately.
I mean, Scott, this was the team that started there. I would be hard pressed looking at that with that first set of players that went out to find anybody that really had a bad game.
No, they weren't. To be fair, obviously Perez, I'm like Brad. At the end of the day, he's one of them players that how can I put it? He'll always be one of those that is a scapegoat. But generally speaking, the starting 11 especially had a really good game, and then obviously the substitutes that came on, minus obviously Ward with his judgment call. I'm quite happy, to be fair.
I mean, Brad, we managed to sort of restrict Villarreal, who I say, are Europa League champions, to just four attempts on goal, and obviously they got 2 of those. But Fofana's out now. I mean, looking at that, list of subs there, who do you think? We've seen Albrighton play at the back. If he moves sort of, Castagna or Ricardo in, or does he go for Amati? I don't see him go for Begovic. Nelson looked very assured when he came on.
He does, but Rodgers never wants to kind of throw a youngster under the bus. He likes to nurture them in, which is why we're obviously very excited when we all heard that he's going to have Kieran Dewsbury Hall for the season. He's getting registered as a squad, which shows me that he's at that Luke Thomas first season stage. We're going to see him come in. We're going to see a few sub appearances. Maybe he'll get the cups. Possibly the Carabao Cup will get a full 90 minutes from him. I don't know. And you just kind of got that probably with him at the back, because I think he had a great game. I'm with you, Chris. I just don't think he'd be Brendan's wanting to throw him under the bus and go, "Hey, I'll make Community Shield against Man City, off you go." As much as I rate him,
that a lot last season, though. Luke Thomas was pretty much that happened to him.
And maybe Rodgers has seen something on training where he's on that borderline. We don't know. We only see what we see on the pitch. We've seen a bit of Dewsbury Hall because he's been on loan. This lad, I believe, has been with the under-23s. So this isn't something that every Leicester fan, as much as we try to, always is able to keep an eye on, as much as we'd like. So, maybe send him out on loan, get him playing League One football, get him out there. I think that would be it. Personally, you don't know what they're working on in training. I don't know if maybe Luke Thomas has been trying to adapt to that position. So because of the cover we've got, we can throw one of our left backs in there as a centre back. I don't know. I would say the natural option is it's going to have to be a Marty.
Yes, yeah. Or we dare I say go for a back three, Scott.
I think with this squad of players that we've got, if we had Evans, for example, then yeah, you could potentially go for a back three. But I think with the predicament that we're in at the minute, I think, it probably is going to be the likes of Armity that will be filling in into the centre back role.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer fact that, he's a right sided centre back. More than anything.
And I can, in fact, like I say, he does scare us, but he's done a job for us when needed. But I think he is a squad player. Brad Soyuncu looked. I mean, again, he's looks like he's playing for Brazil, or he thinks he's playing for Brazil with his little Cruyff turns on the box line. I'm thinking like, oh, for God's sake, no! But I tell you what. That wasn't the player that was playing in the Euros. He was up there for me for man of the match.
Yeah, like you said, they all looked really good. As much as we joke and made the comments about him, Paris was good as well on the pitch. So literally all of them had a really good game. And yeah, he did look back to Soyuncu role. He definitely wasn't the Soyuncu at the Euros, like you said. I thought we got rid of them Cruyff turns when he stopped doing them near the back end of the season, but maybe he feels he needs to get them out of his system. I don't know. But it was nice to see a little bit of flair from Soyuncu. It shows that you can bounce back from things that can deject you, because obviously he would have not enjoyed getting knocked out of the Euros the way they did. They were very, very surprisingly poor Turkey. A lot of people's dark horses going into it. So he's come back. Get the Cruyff turns out your system, mate, and he looked good to go. I would be with you, Chris. I think he edges man of the match for me.
Yes. And we'll come on to that in a minute. Charlie here is a Man City fan. Did the quiz with us the other day. All right, Charlie, thanks for being in. Scott, he thinks we could win on Saturday because they're still missing quite a few players from the Euros. I mean, we hit Man City quite badly last season when they were like only just starting the season. I mean, another 5-2 on the cards quickly, do you reckon?
Oh well, I wouldn't quite go to 5-2. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I think we've got every chance. I think with the likes of having Harvey Barnes back, you know what he's like with Vardy and the rest of the players, sort of thing. So I think with the pace and the intelligence that we've got within midfield and up front, we're always going to be a threat for teams like Man City.
Yes. And I want to come on to Maddison now, Brad. And, these links won't go away. And the players will never ever come out and go, do you know what? I'm happy at Leicester. I don't want to go to Arsenal, just in case he ends up going. I mean, they got to the point, like I said earlier, that it's 40 million about 4 players. And I put, you couldn't give us sort of 60 million and 11 of your first team players. We still wouldn't be as good as one Maddison. But his performance tonight, Brad?
He had flashes of back to his best at times, didn't he? With his little quick turns, his incisive ability to win a quick free kick. He looked happy. Read into that what you will. The thing is like I said earlier, Chris, the one good thing is he didn't certainly play or look like a player that was looking to leave. And I think it will help stem them rumours, because that's got to be a bit of a kick in the teeth. I can imagine that the papers could probably even spin it and say Arsenal Maddison hopes dashed as a player starts in injury hit friendly or something like that. I reckon they could spin it to kind of either use it as the nail in the coffin on it, and then every Arsenal fan looks like a prat that started the rumour for no reason, just for Arsenal to get told. Because let's not forget, our club's actually come out and stated their position. We know, everybody knows where Leicester City stands on this. The player doesn't want to leave. We don't want to sell. We checked our books. We don't have to sell. So if Madison doesn't want to leave, it doesn't matter what you value him at. I could turn around. You could offer me 150 million for Madison. I'd snap my hand off. I'm not going to lie. I'd be stupid not to agree to going for 100 million. But if Madison doesn't want to leave, I ain't going to take the money unless it's beyond ridiculous.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Every player has the price, Scott. We know that. But it is, as I've been saying for weeks and weeks. If we sell, it will be on our terms. And as I said to an Arsenal fan earlier in Twitter. Arsenal fans are saying we're still a big club. We're a big club. Madison will want to come to us. We're Arsenal. But if they were such a big club, they'd be offering us 70 million and saying, "Here we go." We went and bought Perez. Brendan Rodgers wanted him. He said, £30 million release clause. Here's 30 million. None of this messing about. So if Arsenal were a big club, but they haven't got the money, so they can't. They're not this big club that Arsenal fans think they are.
Yeah, exactly. Like Brad and yourself have stated, I can't see Madison going in this transfer window whatsoever. And if he was to go, it's got to be upwards of 100 million. Surely for the fact of the state of affairs that we're in now, with the centre-back position sort of thing, because we'll just use them funds to be able to get in the likes of a centre-back or something like that. So unless Arsenal put a stupid amount of money on the table, he's going nowhere.
Yeah. We will find out their thoughts for proper tomorrow, because at 9:30, I think it is tomorrow, there's me and 3 Arsenal fans, and I'll be putting it to them that they are very disillusioned, and in fact, I think the question I asked of Arsenal, if I can just, I probably can't find it now because my internet is being a little bit slow. Where are we? Here we go. How bad is it being an Arsenal fan at the moment? Are Arsenal fans disillusioned drama queens or genuinely hard done to? And we will find out tomorrow at 9:30. We'll find out why they think that he would go. But taking aside and we'll end on this point now, but taking aside the injury, Brad, first of all, great result. It looks good for the season on that performance with what is going to be as close, I think, to our starting 11 as we've seen.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of positives. There was a lot to take from that game. There was a lot of intriguing performances. Something we haven't had time to touch on was another impressive performance by Dewsbury Hall. And it was good to see Dennis Pratt back in a Leicester shirt, getting some minutes under his belt. So there was a lot of positives. Like you said, Chris, that first half was probably with them. I have not seen Leicester that up and ready and fast around the pitch and able to press like that in a long time at pre-season level. And you know my opinions on pre-season, because I think all 3 of us share the same opinion on how we look at pre-seasons. It's just for fitness. But they're showing that the way Leicester have done it has been brilliant. And I think you're right, that starting 11 was pretty much there.
Yeah.
Until obviously the injury and a few players you might swap in and out.
Yeah. Scott, this is what was chosen for our man of the match by the gentleman that does it for me, and the team ratings there. He rated the manager and the team's performance 7. And I guess over the 90, I mean, I think it was on the first 45 minutes, that might have been different, but over the 90, it's very disruptive with everything that went on. Barnes, I personally, like I say, I think it's very untrue for me, but Barnes had a really good game. What are your thoughts on that, Scott?
Well, first of all, I'll probably put the manager and both the team numbers up, probably one sort of thing. But there were so many players in the team tonight that stood out in abundance. I honestly couldn't give you a man of the match. because there were so many, like I say, players within the squad that really did shine and do well for me. So yeah, that's where I stand.
Like I say, I think the fact that we're talking about this sort of performance, and we're not just played West Brom, or Fulham or a team like that. We've played the Europa League champions, and we're talking about this performance. I think that's the good thing. Gentlemen, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on and staying up late. I know it's past all our bedtimes, but
my beard's growing back in that time, mate.
Sorry?
My beard's growing back in this time.
We've got the Community Shield on Saturday. I'm going. I've managed to get tickets. There are still tickets unbelievably available. So nobody ever moan that you can't get tickets for Leicester games. They're available for the Community Shield. We're doing the post-match show on Sunday. I know, Scott, you're at a much bigger match. But thank you very much for tonight, Brad. And then if you're going to be on Sunday at 1 o'clock for the post match,
yeah, I should be fine. I'll be just enjoying the atmosphere. Yes, no disrespect to the Community Shield. I think it's just one of them that it's nice if you're able to get a nice little early glorified pre-season. It's no longer the Charity Shield. There's a Charity Shield that did a bit more, but I don't know, maybe it's just because it's got a stupid new name.
Yeah, I know you're not allowed to call these, things certain names anymore, are you? But hey, no. If we win, it's a trophy. If we lose, it's a meaningless pre-season friendly.
It's minutes under the belt, isn't it? If we lose, so
this is it. Scott, thank you very much, young man. Brad, thank you as well. Glad you got your sound sorted out. Stay safe, both of you. All the best to everybody, and we will speak soon.
Yeah, see you later, mate.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Bye. Take care, guys. Take care. Thanks to Scott and thanks to Brad for popping on and doing that for me. Great show as always, guys. Great result. Like I say, we've got to say we played that well against the European champions. Overshadowed a bit by the injury. 3-2 scoreline. Yeah, I don't think they deserve the two. They got the second goal. Don't forget, a couple of shows still. We've still got the shit shirt still up there. It's a bit of a laugh. And maybe we should give Villarreal that green shirt to wear, because maybe that's what they are. Who knows? Or even the white one. That's not far off what I think about their players at the moment, allegedly. So that's still available up on the old Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube. Remember, please give us a sub if you're on YouTube. The Fabrizio Romano interview is still up there as well, talking all transfers in and out of Leicester. If you want to listen to this back, it's going to be 10-15 minutes. It will be on Spotify, Amazon, Apple iTunes, my mind went blank then, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Anchor, to name but 6 if you prefer to watch and not see what my latest shirt is. Talk, I don't know if you're still here, Talk, or if you've gone, but a little present here for you, Talk, because I think you deserve it. Bread, garlic bread, just for you, Talk. Don't get hungry, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We are back for the preview show when we'll be looking ahead, me and Craig, to all things Community Shield. We were there. So apparently Man City have got Grealish, so well done, guys. I'm sure that'll be £100 million well spent. I hope he doesn't get injured first game. Like Fofana. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, it's the preview show, me and Craig. Friday at 7 o'clock, it is the opposition view show when I'll be chatting to Ray, Man City fan, about the Community Shield as well. Can't wait for Saturday to get going, then get down to London and watch the lads at Wembley. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for the support. Please, as I say, if you're on YouTube, give the show those like button a smash and get subbing. It would be a much appreciated. Stay safe, guys. See you tomorrow night at 7. Good night.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share and get involved. Join us next time.